So I've been having a lot of dreams lately, and this particular dream I would like to share. I'm not going to share my interpretation to the dream. I'm just going to share the dream. So, starts out I'm in a building, and outside of the building it's like a jungle, like a rainforest. And there's a woman outside. She's dressed in kind of like fatigues, like military or war gear or something. As she's standing outside, I'm watching her through the window, and all the people that are inside the building are like laughing at her and like ridiculing her, making her out like she's, laughing at her like she's crazy. And as she's standing outside, she abruptly looks over to her right and then like looks over to her left over her shoulder, like she's seeing something very scary. And so everybody's just laughing at her like she's a crazy lady. But there was something I was curious, so I followed her out, and I went out into the rainforest, and I heard something fly over my head, and flying around from the right to the left, and I caught a glimpse of it, and it was like a dragon. Looked kind of like a cross between a pterodactyl and a dragon. And so the lady was in fact seeing something, and now I was seeing it too. So I left this place and I started on a journey, and this dragon stalked me my entire journey. And I was just able to keep evading the dragon, but it was just stayed on my tail, kept stalking me the whole entire journey. So now I end up at a little town. And also I have a baby with me now. Like it's like a toddler, like it's a boy. He's a little boy, and he's just like 2 years old or something. He's got a white diaper on, and that's it. I don't know who the boy is. I don't know anything why he's with me. He's just with me all of a sudden. And I am, bringing him with me and protecting him from this dragon that's stalking both of us. And so I come upon this little town. It's a quaint, quiet, friendly looking little town. Very small, just almost perfect little town. I run into two people that I know. They're a couple that I know from one of the churches that I've been to. And they immediately start telling me how wonderful the town is. It's so great, such a blessing. To me, something felt off. Something felt off to me about this town. So now all of a sudden I'm inside a house, my family's around, and everybody's just hanging out, being comfortable, being at home. And the TV is playing in the background, and a toy commercial came on, and it just, had lots of noise, like with the kids playing with the toy on the commercial, and a jingle came on, and in the jingle they said something blasphemous, and I heard it, and it made me pay attention. And I don't remember exactly what they were saying, but it was something about this is God or we're God, or so. It was saying something was God, but it was blasphemous, and it disturbed me inside greatly. And I looked at my family. I said, "Did you guys hear that?" And they did not notice it. They didn't hear it or anything. And I was just really alarmed. And so now all of a sudden I'm at a shopping center, and I'm going to a toy store to buy this boy that I have a toy. And I buy him like a fire truck or a big truck or something, a plastic toy. And we're outside the store, and I take it out of the package, and I go to hand it to him. And most toys, they have like their company name stamp in the toy. And the stamp in the toy had the blasphemous name in it. And so that really was upsetting to me. And then when I looked up at the store, the name of the store also had blasphemy in it. And at that time, I seen the same people, same friends of mine that I know, come over and just ask me how I was enjoying the town and wasn't it such a blessing. And I was sad and scared and upset inside because I knew they were terribly wrong and this place was super duper wicked and that it was being run by evil. So I decided to leave this town, and I started on a journey now. The boy's not with me anymore. It's just me. I'm on this journey. The dragon is stalking me still on this entire journey, and I just continue to evade it. Now, after a while in my journey, I came upon a giant crowd of people. They were all excited, including the couple that I know. Everybody just seemed really full of high energy and happy. Everybody was really happy and excited, and kind of reminded me of like a crowd at a concert before the band was coming on, like everybody was just really excited and happy and high energy. Now, the two people that I know, the couple, started talking to me about the man, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who they were talking about. I didn't have a name or nothing. Everybody who was there knew who he was. They loved him. They were there to see him. They respected him. He was really respected. And including my church friends were excited. And they're telling me, oh, yeah, he's going to reveal something marvelous. This is the future, and they're trying to tell me about this. And so, of course, I felt suspicious and I wanted to investigate. So I found a way into the building where the man and what he was going to be revealing, was. I snuck into the building, and when I entered the building, it looked kind of like a laboratory type setting, except for this giant tunnel. This tunnel looked dungeonous, and it had like a heavy metal, heavy gate door, like you would see on a dungeon, big metal bars covering this tunnel. And so when I seen that, I heard like a chain and a gear clinking, and the gate started raising, and I was like, ooh, cool, I'm gonna go check this out and see what's down this tunnel. And so I go down the tunnel, and as I'm making my way down the tunnel, I start hearing scary sounds and hearing movements. And it dawned on me that the sounds I was hearing was similar to those sounds that I was hearing in the rainforest before I seen that there was a dragon flying over my head. And as I was getting closer, there was light, like a light was coming from the end of the dungeon, which allowed shadows on the wall, and I could see the shadows of these dragon things. And there were many, many, many of them, like numerous. And at that moment, I realized that we were in trouble. So I turned around and I ran out of there. And I left the tunnel, and I was back in the lab place where I was going to the exit. And as I was leaving, I passed some papers that were on a desk with information describing human population control. And this was as part of the solution. And so I knew that at that moment, I knew they were going to release these dragons and they were going to kill people. And so I hid behind these hedges that were up against the building. And so there was a lot of them, and I just kind of squeezed between the hedge and the building, like laying down flat, looking down. And as I'm laying there waiting, all of a sudden, and I never seen him, I just felt him coming. The man that my friends were talking about, that everybody was waiting for, the one who was going to reveal some marvelous thing, came straight to me. And he started talking to me. And I never looked at him or anything because I was looking down at the ground and I was hiding. It's like he knew exactly where I was. So he came straight to me and he started taunting me and ridiculing me, saying things like, this is going to happen. My plan is going through. There's nothing you can do about it. And then he pulled out a gun and shot me. And then he went away. But I didn't die. I stayed quiet and still the monsters, or the dragons had come out, and I could hear them flying around, fire breathing, ripping people up, basically, people screaming, blood curdling cries. It was just a really terrible thing to sit there quiet and still and listen to. And it was just really okay. Anyways, so it started getting quieter and quieter and quieter until eventually it was completely quiet. And once it got quiet, I decided that I could come out from hiding behind the hedges. When I came out from the hedges, I just started on another journey, and I started journeying, and I seen my friends. They didn't die, but they were speechless, and they were in shock, and they were just standing there, and their eyes were really big and like frozen in fear, and their mouths were wide open, and they just couldn't believe. They were just stuck in and dumbfounded. And I just seen them, and I just kept on my journey. I came upon a big house. I feel like I knew the house, and I knew of a lot of the people that were in it. But the thing is, it was like there was a big party going on. It was like a celebration or a party or something. And there were so many people there, and the kids are all dressed up and wearing dresses, and there's all this food on the tables, and everyone's mingling and talking and laughing and dancing and just celebrating, having a good old time. And I remember being really disturbed that they didn't know, they either didn't know or they didn't really care what was going on outside right now with those dragons and stuff. So that concerned me, but I didn't say anything, and I didn't speak to anybody. I grabbed some food off of the table, and I went straight into the room by myself because I was exhausted from all these journeys, and I was hungry. And so I went into the room by myself to eat and rest. And while I was eating, a lady came in. She was someone who I knew. I don't know her in real life, but in the dream I knew her. She was familiar. And she was complaining about some of her issues. She had some health problem, and she was having a hard time. And she was showing me she had this weird big growth on the side of her body. And while she was talking, the TV was going in the background, and the news was on. And the newscaster lady was reporting on a phenomena of pregnancies, that the gestation period was much, much shorter than usual for us. And that the fetus grew at an alarming rate. And when the fetus would near or reach term, which was way faster than normal for our for human beings, it would kill their host. It would kill the mother when it would reach term. And right when I heard it, it was like I knew that the pregnancies, what it was it was a hybrid of those dragon things and people that they were pregnant with. And it was unknown how the women were impregnated, but that was the end of my dream. And so I just thought I would share that. It's a lot.